Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Northwest Craftsman. Today we're going to be talking about one of the problems I have, of the many problems that I have, but we're going to be focusing on one of my problems today, and that is the laser that I have in my shop. New lasers come with, or at least from Genmitsu, the new lasers come with a shroud built in around the laser so that you don't have to wear these goofy glasses all the time while you're trying to use the laser in the shop. And it's really handy because trying to wear these around the shop is a pain in the butt and you can't hardly see anything. But if I don't wear them and the laser is going in my shop, I'll always end up looking over because it's really bright and it flashes, and you always want to look at the bright light, but you're not supposed to look at the bright light. So today we're going to be building a custom shroud for this laser so that it's built onto the laser and not needed to be worn on my face. All right, let's get going. So the other thing that I should mention is that you can use this method for bending acrylic for anything that you want. I'm just using this particular laser bending method or acrylic bending method for the shroud on my laser. Alrighty, so the first step of this process is to get the measurements of your laser itself. And in this case, for me, I've got 33 millimeters or 1 and about 5/16 of an inch. And I want to do that for both sides. So I've got 33, 33, 33. So nominally I'd want to have 99 millimeters around, which actually is going to work out just about perfectly, because one of the things that I've learned is that you lose a little bit when you're trying to bend around this radius here because it actually sticks a little bit further out. So once you have those measurements, I went onto Amazon and I purchased an acrylic sheet. Now, really, I purchased the acrylic sheet first because I knew that I wasn't going to need all that much. So I went on and I purchased a 12 by 12 sheet of acrylic, and it's got this really dark green hue to it, which is good enough in my case for trying to block the laser. Now, if you're trying to find a proper laser shield certification, you're probably going to have a pretty tough time. That is by far the best way to go if you can actually get the certification for it, but I could not find one with a certification, so I went with one that I thought was going to do a good enough job. And then after some preliminary testing on my side, it looks like this stuff is going to be fine. Don't quote me on it. Don't watch your laser through this stuff. For me, it was intended to keep myself from casually looking over at my laser as it was running and running into eye damage issues. Because of that, it just meant to block the vast majority of the light coming out of it, not be a perfect shield if you want to watch the laser running. Anyways, once you have your measurements, you're going to take your acrylic sheet and you're going to mark it all the way along. You're going to cut it on your bandsaw, and then you're going to come back and you're going to get a sheet that looks something like this. Now, once you have this sheet, what you're going to do is you're going to end up marking where you need to make your bends. And for me, I knew that it was about 33 millimeters away from the edge, so I mark it on both areas. And then what you're going to take is a blowtorch, and you're going to use that to soften the acrylic. Now, once you have your acrylic up to temperature and it's soft enough, you're going to want to take 2 pieces of wood and use these to help you in the bending process. One, because it's really too hot for your fingers to do anything, and it's just going to hurt you if you're going to try and do it. So use these guys as your guides, but also this provides a flat surface so that you don't get wonky, weird bends on your acrylic as you're trying to move it around. Once your bend is in the right location and you get it to the right area, you want to try and hold it there for a couple of seconds just until it gets solidified. Now, once this was solidified enough that I could lift it up and move it around without it trying to bend back into shape, I took it over to my air gun, or I took it over to my air compressor, and I blew cold air over the top of it to really solidify it. But before you cool this down entirely, you want to take it over and you want to do a test fit on whatever your thing is. So for me, I wanted to do a test fit on my laser itself so that I could see how good it was going to fit, because if you have to make minor adjustments, you don't want to have to add all of that heat back into the acrylic. You want it to still be a little bit warm, just solid enough that you can do a test fit on this. Alrighty, and then after going back and forth, what you'll end up with is something that looks like this. And you can see that it has nice bends all the way around. And it fits onto my laser shroud perfectly. Now, I was really impressed with this method. It kind of shocked me how easy it was to do this. And after one time of practice, I had an earlier one that I practiced with that didn't turn out quite as good. The second attempt that I had turned out really, really nice, and I'm super excited with how it works. And I'll give you guys a quick glimpse of what this looks like in testing it. Honestly, I'm super impressed, and I mean, the fact that I didn't buy another $200 laser to try and get this shroud, and I couldn't just drill holes into my laser, this was a pretty easy, straightforward method to do it. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions about how I made this, go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below. I do take time to read all of the questions, all of the comments that you guys leave me, and respond to them if you guys have a question. So thank you guys for participating. I do appreciate that. And if you like the kind of content we're producing here at Northwest Craftsman, we'd really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel channel and hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified when we release future episodes. Anyways, thank you guys again. I really appreciate having you around. Have a happy, safe time woodworking. Make sure you're always wearing your eye protection, whether it's on your face or on your machine. Anyways, thank you guys. Have a good one. Bye.